Better than you were yesterday. What does that mean? Self-improvement and personal development, when you look at it from a macro perspective, there's so much that you have to work on. It just feels like it can be overwhelming. You got everything from your health to all these skills you need to develop. You probably want to make more money. You want to have better friendships. You better have relationships. Where do you start? Really recently, I got into a sport called jiu-jitsu, which is a ground combat sport. And it's really intense. Jiu-jitsu is super intense. It's also really, really difficult. I think it's probably one of the most difficult things that I've ever done. When I was talking to all the people in jiu-jitsu, at first you just get rolled over and over again. And every time that you get into a spar with someone, you lose. And in fact, this is still happening to me months later, even after I have been practicing for a while now. And it gets kind of depressing because it's a lot like life in the sense that you get beaten down a lot. And sometimes you kind of just want to give up, or you just want to say, hey, I don't seem to be getting the hang of this. Maybe I should try something else. But what jiu-jitsu taught me, the people in jiu-jitsu taught me, was they said, hey, don't worry about getting to be a master of jiu-jitsu today. And don't worry about being a jiu-jitsu master tomorrow, because it's going to take you years to do it. The only goal that you should have is that you should try to be better than you were yesterday at the sport. So just try to learn one thing, just try to pick up one thing, and you'll get better. And I stopped looking at it from like this big perspective where I was like, I have to get better at this and I have to become a master. And instead, I started thinking, well, how can I just be better than I was yesterday? And that's what this video is about. Self-improvement is too big of a concept. You have to break it down into little bite-sized chunks. And if you're just getting started with it, which a lot of you want to improve your life, but you're not sure where you should start, or you want to improve your life and you're not sure what you should do, the first thing you want to do is you just want to think about getting better than you were yesterday. And you can do that by percentages. So if you're just 1% better than you were yesterday, and then the next day you're 1% better than that, and then the next day and the next day and the next day, and that 1% could be a million things. Maybe today you don't drink that soda that you were going to drink before, and maybe today you go on a walk instead of playing video games, or today you read an extra 30 minutes instead of doing something else like hanging out on your phone. And those little 1%, what happens at the end of the year? Let's say you have 365 days where you successfully go 1% better every day. You're not actually 365% better. It's interesting. It's an exponential effect because every single percentage actually increases your percentage further and further. It becomes this exponential thing. So you're not 365% better. You're actually 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000% better because you're building off of those past successes. In that success you had, you learned something, you got a little bit healthy than you were before. Now you're even healthier than you were before. The next thing you do that's healthy is a compound on that. So you're actually stacking these foundations. And that's how I think people actually become really successful. They don't just like wake up to it overnight. They start on really small stuff that doesn't seem like it'll impact their life, and then over time it does. The first thing that you can do to really implement this strategy is you can start thinking about where you want to improve. And one good example of this, I think, is my magical moments goal. So I brought this up in my February 2017 goals. Magical moments are like, okay, every time that I want to talk to someone, I want to make sure that that encounter is positive. I want to come at it with my best foot forward. No matter who it is, I want to come at it and be enthusiastic and be positive and really be excited that that person is in my life at that moment. I don't ever want to view it as like an inconvenience. I don't ever want to view it as, oh, this is not the person I want to talk to right now, or I'm doing something else. Even in a short interaction, I may be on my way to a meeting, or I may be having to do something that's like really important, but I'll give that person that I walked by my best for that 2 seconds and that attention. That commitment is one of these commitments I'm doing to just get 1% better every day. Over time, those compound because people like you more. In this case, the relationships become better. People start to see you as a more charismatic person, and opportunities come from that. And now all of a sudden, by the end of the year, all these things were made possible. And more importantly, you probably made a lot of people happy because you were doing this goal. So you can set your goal in several different fields. Maybe you want to be 1% better at your job every day. Or maybe you want to be 1% better with someone in your life, like your significant other or your family. Maybe you want to be 1% better in some skill you're trying to develop, like you're trying to learn how to play the guitar, or you're trying to get better at something. But whatever you do, you acknowledge this kind of exponential effect, and you stop thinking about self-improvement as these like really big changes that you have to make. If you set out to lose 25 pounds, or you set out to completely change your health or completely change your nutrition, it is very difficult, or raise your income by 200%. It's really tough. It's really tough to do that, especially overnight. And you easily get overwhelmed. The brain can't compartmentalize everything that well. So if you just focus on being better than you were yesterday, I thought this was a really good lesson for a video. If you agree, leave a comment. I read everything. Subscribe if you really like the video, and I really appreciate it because that helps me a lot. Looking forward to making more of these and seeing you again next time.